Welcome everyone, Simon here from the Whales of Wall Street. Sorry for the lack of videos in the last couple of weeks, coming off the back of man flu and of course the busy holiday period. Hopefully everyone's okay out there and had a great holiday period wherever you are in the world, or if yours hasn't happened yet. I know there's a few worldwide that celebrate things at different times. Hopefully you get some rest and all have either way, a powerful, joyful, and healthy 2024. Guys, I'm going to try and keep this video very sweet and short. Got those words the wrong way around. This just shows you maybe how much medication I'm on. So, guys, there was a company called Hyperverse. I came across this, or was presented this opportunity, for a better word, around 2021, latter stages of 2021. Now, the people behind this were actually part of the company, or the collapsed company now, Australian Bitcoin company, Blockchain Global. And these entrepreneurs, these partners, etc., came from this company. I don't know if at the time both were associated collectively, but this Hyperverse fund, or Hyper Fund, which was what it was originally called, which we'll go into a bit more detail in a second, has had a lot of backlash over the last year or so, particularly from the fact that pretty much this thing collapsed, and also alongside that, essentially, and there were so many articles about this being a potential scam or a potential pyramid scheme. And the whole point of this video, really, guys, is really just to hone in on the fact that whether you are in the space for a long time or a short period of time, or specifically as well, if you are new to the crypto space, please, please, please always do your research on anything that you're investing in and any particular platforms or companies that you're investing within as well. I'm going to put the article on here because it makes a bit more sense to kind of talk about it in more detail, of what's kind of been occurring, etc. So this is the latest article. So The Guardian is a big, huge media outlet here in the UK. I don't know if it does any other countries, but anyway, the chief executive of collapsed crypto fund Hyperverse does not appear to exist. I had to read this like 3 or 4 times because I've seen these sort of things in the past, not towards these sizes and magnitudes. Now, I'm not going to read this word for word. I'm going to leave the description, a link in the description, of this video. So the chief executive officer, who claimed qualifications appear to have no basis in fact, was used to promote the Hyperverse crypto fund alongside celebrity messages of support as part of a push to recruit new investors into a scheme. So Guardian Australia investigation last month revealed thousands of people have lost millions of dollars. This is absolutely phenomenal. And it puts things into a bit of perspective. Unfortunately, I can't open up the rest of this, but you've just seen there that millions upon millions of dollars were lost in this situation. And the names of these people, co-founders of the collapsed Australian Bitcoin company Blockchain Global, who owns creditors $58 million. Unbelievable. Liquidator has referred Zhu and Lee as the Australian Securities Investment Commission for alleged possible breaches of Corporations Act. ASIC has said it does not intend to take action at this time. So Hyperverse investment scheme, absolutely humongous it was at the time. And I smell these things a mile off. And I was saying to the people that were investing in this, that were going, oh, wow, I put this money in, I've already returned on this. I was like, well, guys, yeah, there is a bull market going on. But equally, this just looked like a mirrored platform that I've seen many, many times. Like the way the scams tend to go, not even just in crypto, it's very obvious to me. But if you're not in the space, or you're not perhaps used to the technological aspects of things like this, you could go on a website. I remember there was a Bitcoin one. I think it's called Bitnance or something stupid like this, and it was a reflection. It showed like real-time prices as you would see on any exchange, any platform that you use, perhaps on your app or on your desktop. So from the outsider's view, and you're getting someone calling you saying, oh, hey, have you heard about Bitcoin? And this was obviously back in 2021, very much the heights of when the crypto market was flying. So people were really excited. And this is why I want to put this video out there, to make sure that people out there who are coming into the space new, as I said, even existing people or people that are getting ready for the new big bull runs, whenever that might be, to really look out for stuff like this. Just keep to your official platforms, ones that you know of, checking reviews, etc. And any wording of scams or anything like this, you have to triple check, quadruple check within your minds, within your sanity, online, etc., as to whether this is legitimate or not, because your money's at stake, right? And irrespective of the saying of, only invest in what you can afford to lose, that even goes out even further out the window, in the sense that you're just purely wasting your money, and not safeguarding your integrity of you as a person, because you don't want to lose that confidence in something that could be ultimately, if you did it the correct way or with the correct platforms and the legitimate platforms, could actually see some life-changing opportunities, or at least along the pathway of that, however long or short your goals are, in the crypto or the stock markets, whatever it might be. So this powerful statement of not being a financial advisor is very important right now. Like, this is not me giving financial advice. This is me saying from another experience, a personal experience, of people coming to me with this kind of platform, audaciously in some instances, to think that this was okay, and without doing your own research. And I get possibly why, from the monetary perspective that they thought they saw on their platforms, to go, oh, this is a good opportunity, I'm going to share it with others. But there's a real risk to that. Which is why you have to find that fine balance of who you talk to about things, or how you approach things, or how you educate people about the space in general, and the risk assessments, the risk appropriations of these kind of topics. So, going back to this article really quickly, I couldn't believe it. These, by the way, this is like one of the slides that was on the presentation Zoom thing. You had a download link or a link on the website, and these are what people were sending me. I instantly looked at it, and no disrespect to who made this. Well, actually, maybe I am being disrespectful, and I rightly so should be, because of the fact of what's happened here. I looked at this, and I thought, you're apparently a multi-million-dollar fund in crypto, boasting elaborate returns on investment to people who invest within your platform, and your presentation looks like something from Windows 95. That was the first indication in my head to be like, I don't think this is very legitimate. Now, I've worked in the crypto space, okay? I've worked in many industries, and I can tell you now that even the most basic PowerPoint presentations I've seen from people that don't even know what they're doing with them are 100 million times better than that. So, jokes aside, that was a real hit in my head to look at this and go, I'm not quite sure about this. I couldn't find half the people on LinkedIn. Doxing is very important. Whenever you're looking at a project, it's important, like you've seen on many YouTube videos that are shill projects or whatever, one thing that they do get right, for sure, is to go, oh, now let's look at the team. Now, looking at the team on paper is one thing, but actually to go into depth of who these people are, their historic backgrounds, are they real? If they're not on LinkedIn, that doesn't necessarily mean the end of the world, but it definitely gives you an indication that from a professional level and a top level aspect of a company that you're investing in really ticks a big box in our minds. So there was some real big questions there. There was a lot of celebrity endorsement and YouTubers picking up on this kind of stuff. And again, I'll make a good point about this in a moment's time, because this is the perfect time to talk about this kind of stuff. We're not in a full bull cycle at all yet. We've had a good run. I truly believe the big bull runs are coming towards the end of 2024, around all the interest rate reductions, etc. That remains to be seen. But what I I will say is based on the experience of being prepared and to avoid things like this, or the opportunity of things like this. So just to give people a bit of an indication here, investors in Hyperverse were able to buy memberships with minimum returns of 0.5% a day with 300% return over 600 days. The word membership here stood out to me immediately when I was presented this by a couple of people. I was like, well, I can go on my exchange, and yes, they take fees, obviously, but I don't need to pay a membership for this. This feels like a pyramid scheme. I remember like the old days of the internet and stuff like this, and even today, you can see pyramid schemes all over the place. And people who work in pyramid schemes get extremely irritated when you mention the word pyramid scheme. So that would be something else that you can use as an identifiable protocol to test these kind of areas. But yes, pyramid scheme was very much mentioned, and I mentioned at the time in my personal group chats to people, I said, look, if you're going to do this stuff, it's down to you. I'm just saying that from my personal experience, my personal thoughts, this looks really dodgy. So the launch video included a 5-minute presentation of terrible screens that look like this and loads more of them. Compliance officers, blah blah blah, reports, etc., and how much everything was worth, and so on and so forth. And it was being talked about everywhere. A lot of people didn't hear about it, but it was being talked about everywhere. And look at it now. So the video message support released in 2022, Hyperverse was ramping up its global recruitment drive. I was like, really? How is this possible? But there's a lot more reports coming out at the time as well that actually suggesting that this was a scam. I mean, look at this. In the presentation, Mr. H talked about the failure of neoliberalism and said Hypernation would use new technologies to provide citizens of Hypernation with a universal basic income. It's absolutely crazy. So Hypernation broadcast on YouTube featured masked promoters called Mr. H and Miss N. Now, come on. Even if you did or didn't think this was a scam, and you got people promoting, I get very agitated about this, but you got people promoting stuff in this fashion. Like, it's ludicrous. It's an absolute disgrace that it was allowed to happen. But this is why the conversation about regulation is very important. I know a lot of people don't like it, this regulation and compliance and stuff that's coming on, but trust me, in some aspects of some of the good that's going to come out of this, it will hopefully, at least at a bare minimum, protect us as people, as investors, whatever level investor you are, from avoiding things like this. Because I can guarantee to you, I know at least one person that was approaching me, how much money they were putting into this thing. They would have lost a lot of money. And what can you do about it? Other than just provide the aspect of good for you at the time if you think this is working for you. But I think this is a terrible thing. And, I unfortunately can't get hold of them, for a while. I know they may have changed numbers, whatever it might be. To see, I've heard about this. Are you all good? Like, they were under the impression aspects of, they're putting money in that they can afford to lose, etc. But you don't know with these things. But it gets exciting, and then it can go absolutely south very quickly. So the last couple of notations on this before I just wrap up this topic. Hopefully you're with me still. So yes, loads of different questions. There was no responses to things, and all of a sudden realized that couldn't even be verified. The identities of these people couldn't even be verified. Not even the qualifications of these people. Unbelievable. So what was your involvement? Denied any involvement. In terms of Hypernation, the problem is I'm not involved, so I don't really have that much else to say. Could give you the visibility of who these people are. I mean, really, unbelievable. And there's not just the only scenario here. There's been many more case studies of this kind of thing going on, and big clampdowns of things. Will people ever get their money back? Well, possibly not, because at the time they weren't regulated, and arguably terms and conditions and things like this that weren't protecting the consumer or the retail investor, particularly in this conversation, are stuck in the sense that they knew that they were investing in things that were risky, but then most people start crying about it 6 months, 12 months down the line when things have collapsed and gone, oh, my money's gone. And it's a really sad state of affairs, because this, as I said earlier, this space has a massive opportunity for people if it's done correctly, if it's done properly and researched correctly, and you're doing the right things in your minds, and your management of risk in your minds, and moving on to what you're actually doing physically with exchanges, with funds, etc. It can be prosperous, but these kind of things are damaging effects. And what I noticed was that you do get the trickles of the bad news coming at times when markets are crashing, and then the good news is coming in with things that are great. So I know how some of that works and the timing of things, but it when I read this article, I found it doing the research for some crypto news. I was going to start off with YouTube Shorts to get my voice ready for bigger videos again, but then I was like so outraged by finding this, and I was like, Hyperverse, that rings a bell. And I started seeing the old WhatsApp chats and stuff, and the groups, and we're having a discussion about it earlier on some of them, to be like, God, you remember this, guys? Like, we all found this years ago, or had people coming to us to do this, and look at it now. Like, I'm grateful that I took that stance, and in the chats that we have, the Whales of Wall Street chats, that most people are on board with the philosophy that this looks dodgy. So I think it needs more awareness, this kind of stuff. But I plead to everyone out there that, and especially people who are new or about or thinking of coming into the space, don't be scared about the crypto space. Educate yourself. Be very knowledgeable as much as you can. Research in the companies that you're investing in. If you're using specific platforms or things that you don't know too much about, please just research completely as much as possible. Or have a financial advisor, like an official one, coming to help you out, because things like this burn people. I've seen so much money lost, hard-earned cash and money being lost to nothing. These people will do a runner. They don't exist. They could use AI these days for deep fake facial recognitions and stuff in presentations. You have to be really careful. So that's a wrap up of this video, guys. Hopefully it's of use to some people. Even if it helps like one person, that's great for me. But keep an eye out for it. As I said, whatever level investor you are, new or old, it doesn't matter. Always be vigilant in this space, and it's the perfect time to discuss this, because we will see fluctuations of hype. We will see significant numbers of gains in the next year or so, and it gets people emotionally attached to crypto and investing. And when you start having too much emotion or the excitement of something, and especially something you don't understand, it can get dangerous, and we don't want people losing their money in these kind of things. So thanks for watching this one, guys. The voice feels a bit bare now, so hopefully I'm going to rattle out a few videos this evening. May or may not do the live one today, but certainly today or tomorrow at least, at the bare minimum, because there's been a lot of action, especially today with the market drop. But guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next Whales of Wall Street video. Take care. Bye bye.